Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. How are we all doing? How am I doing, you ask? I'm doing great, thank you very much. And I've actually had a few subscribers since last the video, which is, it's always great to see. And the Darwin Núñez video seems to be getting a few more views than I thought it would actually get. So thanks for the support and thanks for the comments below. I've actually had a few as well, some of those. But today what I'm going to be talking about is Dele Alli, which is, this one seems to have a lot more questions than answers, it seems, because in the last couple of hours it seems like he's going to Besiktas from Everton. The Everton move seems like a strange one anyway, because it was the sort of stereotypical Everton signing, buying a player that isn't in form for way too much money. At the time as well, there was a lot of debate on whether the fee was actually real or not, because they didn't actually pay for him, did they? I think the fee was on appearances, so it would have gone up to about 40-50 million, wasn't it, after a certain amount of appearances. Now, whether that's a reason why Everton are trying to get rid of him, it seems like the most logical one anyway, rather than he's out of form, because when you look at how he played at the end of last season, he didn't have that much playing time like Donny van de Beek, but he seemed to control the game in a couple of matches and really grow into the player that he was a couple of seasons before that. He had a man of the match against Newcastle. I seem to remember a game there when they won, as well as another one towards the end of the season when he scored and was vital in the game. I feel like it is a monetary thing, this, down to Everton, because they don't seem to have that much money, do they? And they need to get him off the books, because you can't see him being on pennies, do you? And the reported fee that he's going to be on, the wage he's going to be on at Besiktas, is 65.5 grand a week. Now, when you compare that to how he was 4 seasons ago, in 2018 he was considered the most expensive player from a market transfer perspective. I've got a note written down here. At the age of 26, he's still a young player, and to be only on 35k a week, now to me and you, that is a lot of money. But for a player of his standards at the time, that is not a lot. I don't think Tottenham pay a lot in general anyway on players. I remember Eriksen and Son and Kane. I don't think they're on Man City or Man United level wages, but you compare that to 36.5 grand. That's like a fringe player at best at these clubs, and he was compared to Maradona and Ronaldinho when he was under Poch. The question is why? How has this developed? How has this happened over the time? He was thriving under Poch, and he was becoming the young player of the season twice in the Premier League. That's something that shouldn't be ignored ever, and usually this sort of thing happens when you're 32, 33. You really hope that this Besiktas move under Valérien Ismaël, now he wasn't really a great manager at West Brom, but he was at Barnsley the season before. You're hoping it's a fresh start, but it's a tough league to go into. Whether he feels like it's something to get out of the tabloids and the headlines for now, you don't know, but you're hoping it is for him. And it really felt like, the Mourinho clip of him a couple of seasons ago on the All for Nothing, when he says you really need to show now or you will regret it. It was the beginning of the end at the time. It wasn't really questioned before then whether he was a good enough player or not. You just assumed he was just in a bit of a bad form at the time, and now it's like 2-3 seasons since then, and it hasn't improved at all. If anything, it's regressed since then. You're hoping that under Valérien Ismaël it will be the start of something new, almost like you want him to be like a Lingard now, where he has a year or two off and he wasn't performing that well, and he goes back to the heights that he was, because we all know the player he could be, and we all know the player that he should be. He played over 100 games before the age of 20 years old. Now, I don't want to compare him to Jack Wilshere, because it's too easy, isn't it, at this point? But I feel like it is the only sort of player that anyone could compare it to anyway. But the only thing I could say with that is that it wasn't down to injuries. Is it down to burnout, because of the amount he played at MK Dons early when he was 16, 17, went to Tottenham, played every game of that season, and then he went to Everton and he'd hardly played. So is it a case of burnout? Is it a case of injuries? And it really is worrying, and it really is a tale of you've got to live in the moment right now, because when you look at players like Jude Bellingham, who's 17 right now, you don't really want him to play too many games too soon, because one, the expectations when you're 17, only one or two in a generation become the Messi or Ronaldo. So what you would like is Bellingham to become that player, but it could easily be a Jack Wilshere or a Dele Alli right now, and it is a sign of how hype can be believed really quickly, and a knee-jerk reaction on certain players. And I mean, I could be a hypocrite here, and I could be part of the problem on these sort of knee-jerk reactions, but right now it seems the easiest thing to talk about. You know, when you talk about players and football, it's such an evolving storyline, and it's an ever-changing presence in the world, as it, you know, it's filtering into politics, it's filtering into everyday life, that it's hard not to be ignored. With Dele Alli right now, you hope and you pray that this is just a temporary fix to a solution that should be solved relatively quickly, because he is an unreal player, and he should be in the England squad every time if he's at his peak. At 26 as well, he's got time to progress back to where he was. Can he get back into the Premier League? Give him a season and a half with a full regiment and a full season of flourishing in the league. It's hard to disagree with that. The question I have for you guys right now is, will Dele Alli become the player that we all thought he was going to be? Or will he become one of these classic players of the streets will never forget? And you really hope that isn't for a player of his quality and of his standard. It was just a quick little ramble from me. Thanks, guys. Thanks for watching. I hope you liked the videos. I'm trying to get them out as much as I can, and trying to be consistent with these. Please like the video, subscribe, and peace.